What up? What up? What up? Happy Wednesday. It's hump day, everybody. It's the Grit and Grind Show. I'm your host, Daniel Ball, and the Grit and Grind Show is brought to you by the Mental Game Performance Coaching. If nerves, pressure, or overthinking are stealing your game day success, the Mental Game Coaching has got you covered. Head over to tmgperformancecoaching.com. Sign up for a free game planning session. Let our mental health coaches and mental performance coaches help you create the path and the plan that's going to unlock your greatness. So once again, the Mental Game Performance Coaching, none better, none other than the best in the biz to unlock your potential and your game day success. Chinook Seeds, whether you're on the field or in the boardroom signing deals, Chinook helps you get the job done. 8 flavors, mild to wild. Go to your local gas station, convenience store, grocery store. Pick up the best sunflower seeds in the game, Chinook Seeds. Old Dominick Distillery, experience 150 years of tradition in the heart of downtown Memphis. From bourbon to vodka, whiskey to gin, Old Dominick's got you covered. Stop in today for a tour or just to pick up your favorite bottle. You can go to olddominickdistillery.com. You can order shirts, hats, gear, wine bags, coolers, you name it. But most importantly, you can get the best spirits in the game. So head over to olddominickdistillery.com and pick up, hey, your nightcap or your day drinking. Whatever you need, they got you covered. With that, keep the lights on. But we got to get to business. This is a good episode. We got a good interview. We got the man himself, Atlanta Wild strongman Tom Sroka, join us. Tom, it's been a little bit, brother. How you been?
I'm good. I want to just first off say probably the best intro. I don't know if you, it shows me on there that you can like see, oh, you're the only one that can see me. I was like bebopping around and then I read the get ready and I was like, oh. I was like, that's the last thing he needs to see me dancing around here while his intro is going on. But I love the intro to your show, by the way. But thank you for having me on, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man. It's always good when I get a chance to talk to you. Obviously, some things have happened and transpired since the last time you've been on the show. The 2021 season has started, but it was a very quick start to the season for you. So I want to get into that. Obviously, match one, it's you get injured. We're all like looking forward to this strongman showdown between you and Chris Matos, and we didn't get Chris Matos, we got you, but then we got you getting hurt. So what was the injury specifically? What exactly happened? Talk me through it.
Yeah, I feel like that whole thing was doomed from the start. Everybody else was picking the burpees or the ring touch thing, and then there was just Chris and myself at the end with the strongman log, like a bunch of Neanderthals. Yeah, so it was just one of those fluke things. I've been dealing with some Achilles tendonitis since the end of last season. And weirdly enough, like it had really started to not be a non-issue for me leading into the match. Like I'd been getting it right, but doing some different things and stuff like that, and it was feeling pretty good. And then like the day of the match, like I don't know if it was just the humidity, or I really don't know what the deal was, but like the day of the match, like my whole foot was just hurting. Like I was like hobbling around and stuff like that, and took some ibuprofen, just kind of shrugged it off. Did the whole match with Breezy, or the ringer point match with Breezy. Completed the reps, and I couldn't see exactly what happened, but when I just threw the log down, the back side of it rolled. So as I was turning to run, it hit the back of my heel. At least that's what it felt like. It felt like I got hit in the back of the heel, and I tripped across the finish line. And then the ref had said that I didn't complete a rep or anything like that. That's a whole other debate for a whole other day, because I've watched that video about 10, 15 times now. And so like she said that I no repped it, was still trying to get the 1 point because they have the 10% rule. You've got to finish it within, whatever. So I like popped up to go. I popped up to go complete my rep, and as soon as I stood up, my entire calf seized. And that's when I went back down, and I saw the videos from the live stream. Everybody saying it was my knee, it was 100% my ankle. And so when I got it checked out, everything like that, and I have a partial tear of my Achilles. We don't know. I'm on marketplace insurance, so I was in that grace period. I had to wait because I had just moved and everything like that to do for marketplace. So I had imaging scheduled for after this match. We don't know. Excuse me. We don't know the percentage, but it's just been one of those things. Like as soon as it happened, I've got I got a team of people that I talk to and stuff like that. One of them's a college athletic trainer. The other's a PT person in my area, and like I immediately went right to work, taking care of it, And so I had been like, I was rehabbing it, pretty like straightforward and stuff like that. Like I knew it wasn't as serious as a full on Achilles tear. Like I have friends that have fully blown their Achilles and ruptured that and stuff. I was walking, I don't know if you saw or anything. I was walking around after the match.
In
Like
in the moment when it happens, do you immediately go, "Oh, this is Achilles," or do you think it's something less severe? Because when you think of Achilles, you think of like something like what just happened with Tyrese Halliburton, who tears
yeah,
his Achilles and he's out for a significant amount of
yeah.
time. But
Like the fact that I was able to get up. And like I felt bad because like in the video, Mia and I, or one of our manager, I've been kind of talking to her about it. I felt bad because people were trying to help me up. And I was just like, listen, I have a Charlie horse. Like, leave me alone. Just let it subside and it'll be fine. Because I genuinely just thought I had a Charlie horse in my calf. Like, I just, I wasn't drinking enough water, got dehydrated, and my calf cramped. That was really what I thought. And then, so the fact that I was able to, like, kind of walk it off, um, I didn't think Achilles was like the last thing on my mind that I was thinking of. I thought maybe I pulled something in my calf, uh, maybe something a little bit higher up, like you've got this muscle behind your knee, that's actually part of the cat, the pletus. I thought maybe I pulled that because I've done that before. Like it felt very similar. Like Achilles was like the last thing on my mind. And then when I was sitting on the ortho table, she's like, "Yeah," she goes, "You ruptured your Achilles." And I was polite about it, but I just said, I said, "I appreciate your insight." I was like, "But I can walk." Like I was like, if I ruptured my Achilles, like I would not be able to walk. So like I started thinking, I was like, maybe it is a partial tear of the Achilles. The other thing I had been dealing the year before, I had been dealing with some plantar fascia. So I wondered if maybe I just like tore the plantar fascia. Because I know I've never
yeah,
done it myself, but I've heard from other people that that's super painful as well. So, like I said, I was just trying to kind of run down a list of things and stuff like that. And my one buddy just like, just give it a few days, um, and see, what kind of bruising pops up and stuff like that. And it did bruise a little bit, but nowhere near as bad. I just had a little bit of bruising around like the ankle bone. And
yeah,
a lot of that was, I think, just because of gravity. But yeah, like I said, from like the next day, I don't like anybody who's ever been in Miami airport, like there's a lot of walking you gotta do to get from like your rental car place to your terminal.
right.
I walked the entire Miami airport, walked the entire Denver airport to get back home. And like it didn't feel great, but I was able to do that with like no pain, no issues and stuff like that. So yeah, immediately as soon as I got back here, I was on the phone with people and just sending videos and they were giving me exercises and different things to do after I got it checked out. And I just started rehabbing it. And I thought I was done for the season. Like I knew for sure I wasn't going to be in Tampa.
Yeah.
And so it was just one of those like I have been going and going and going and going. And then watching the Tampa match, I kind of stepped up my rehab stuff just a little bit more because I didn't like what I saw. And last week I got the clearance to do non-dynamic stuff. So essentially, like I'm gonna be in Dallas, Mesquite or wherever the heck we're gonna be. I'm gonna be there, but I won't be doing any running, won't be doing any jumping kind of stuff and things like that. It is just strictly going to be like my foot is going to be in one spot and one spot only when I'm doing movement, such like that.
Is it something that you have to practice like with like because obviously you're used to being able to move freely and lift like to your own accord. Now all of a sudden, in order to perform, you've almost got to do it a different way. Are you practicing that, or are you just going to
Yeah.
show up and go, I'm going to just make sure I don't move it?
Yeah, no, so I wouldn't say practice it per se. Like it was one of those like it was super frustrating for me because I hate training upper body. I love training lower body, snatches, squats, cleans, like that is my jam. So for 4 weeks straight, I literally just couldn't do anything but upper body training, and it was the most miserable like 4 weeks. I hated it. I was still doing stuff like leg extensions and hamstring curls and things along those lines, like things that weren't loading the ankle until I got cleared. But like things like squatting, I like to think that I move pretty efficiently. when it comes to things like squatting, when I do my push presses, like I don't lift up on my toes very much. Like I keep my heels planted and stuff. The only thing I've had to practice a little bit was cleans. There is a variation of cleaning called like a no hook, a no feet clean or whatever. And so I just was kind of just playing around with that.
Mhm.
And so that'll be a game time decision, because at the end of the day, like I'm not going to put myself in a position to make this worse. I'm
Right.
just going to see how I'm feeling and stuff like that. But then there's things like the tank pushes. I'm fortunate enough to work at a gym where we have one. I've been playing around with that and stuff, and I've had no issues doing that kind of stuff and things like this. I don't know. It's a weird injury for me. Like,
Is
there's
it
nothing.
something that, like, the more intensity that you put forth on something, the harder it is? So is there things that you can do at, like, relatively low intensity and it's
Yeah,
fine? As soon as you start amping up intensity,
yeah,
then all of
yeah.
a sudden.
Like I like I have a walking trail around my house and stuff like that. It's about a mile around, and as soon as I got cleared to start loading it again, like I started walking again. So I'm getting anywhere from like 10 to 20,000 steps a day just walking around that trail.
Yeah.
It's a dirt trail, stuff like that. That doesn't bother. Like yeah, like some days like more than others, like my foot will get sore. Plus like all the other stuff I do for work and things like that. But yeah, like it's I every once in a while, like I'll like misstep or something like that, and it's like really quick twitch that you can feel. You're like, oh, that didn't feel great. So I'm just
Right.
being very mindful of that. Like I got a big bulky brace that I wear when I'm doing anything remotely athletic or anything like that. It's all taped up and such right now. So yeah, it's just one of those situations where it's the intensity of the movement. So like I said, I won't be doing anything that's involving like running, sprinting, jumping, anything along those lines. I won't be doing much with the like the snatch ladder. I'm gonna muscle snatch everything because that doesn't require any dynamic movement. The cleans we'll see. Like I said, it's just gonna see how I'm feeling after doing the mirror and such.
Yeah. I mean, like I told you, man. Hey, I've seen you train from the knees,
Yeah,
stationary. Like, just
that
you're
that
stronger
was
than 75% of the league just doing that. So
that was completely like that was literally one day I was going insane. Like I was down in my little home gym and I'm like, I do not want to bench. I do not want to do a seated press. I don't want to do a bent over row. I was like, I need to do something different. And I had those crash pads and I'm like, I wonder if I just kneel on the crash pads, if I can just snatch for my knee. And that was the product of it. And I posted the one video and people were like losing their minds over it, and I'm very like structured with my training. So like I was trying to do a progression. So I did a set of five. I was like, all right, well I did this first set of five. Let's see what I can do for a set of three and such like that. And so when a week or two later, I did the triples, and I just recently posted those. And people are like, "Oh my god, this is so cool!" Like this is strictly just me being bored and me not wanting to do traditional stuff. But yeah, I did make a joke to Dan after I realized that I could do a significant amount of weight. I was like, "Hey, I was like, do you think they'd let me run the snatch ladder on my knees?"
I'm
But
telling you, man.
thankfully, I don't need to do that, so we're good.
There you go. Well, if you had to put a percentage on it, like how healthy are you, 0 to 100%? Obviously, you're
I'd
not
say,
100%,
yeah, I'd say I'm about 75%.
75. So, yeah, what would be a percentage where you're like, I have to be at least this percentage in order to compete?
The big thing for me is like I'd have to be I like I'm probably close to 75, 65, 75%. Like it was just there was a point in time where what I was caught off guard about was the amount of balance loss that I had, like the balance and stability in the ankle, and that was really the telltale for me. Like if I would walk, if I would walk like for a certain amount of distance, something like that, it would get like really like tight and unstable and sore and stuff. So like I couldn't even walk like a mile, like not a chance in hell. But now that
Yeah.
I'm doing, 2, 3, 4 miles some days walking on it, I'm able to get through like whole training sessions walking around and standing on my feet and stuff like that. Like that was a good sign. And then like once I started working with my PT and everything like that, she gave me a ton of balance stuff to do, and that's really where like the the confidence to be able to do something with it has been is because I've been doing a ton of stuff standing on like the little like wobble pads, doing the four-way touches with the opposite leg while bouncing on it, doing the toe scrunches and all that kind of stuff. Like, so all those things have definitely made a dramatic improvement. It was just kind of crazy how quickly, even in, like I said, like the 3 to 4 weeks that I wasn't doing much, that like the body lost the ability to do that. But then, muscle memory and such like that is a heck of a thing, and it kicked right in. And like I said, we're good. I'm not, especially as I get older, I'm a lot smarter with my body and how I operate and such like that. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to put me in a position to not only like injure myself first and foremost and make this worse, but also like put my team in a bad spot.
Right. And when you look at the team, obviously it's no fun sitting out and
Yeah.
having to watch, from home or from a sideline. How hard has it been for you to have to sit and watch?
It's been extremely difficult. Like Dan and I have a really tight relationship. We pretty much talk, especially during the season, at least once, sometimes twice a week, during the season and stuff. Just kind of, for the most part, like we're good friends, you
Yeah.
know. And so it's mostly a hey, how's it going? How's this going in your life? Stuff like that. And then we'll get to grid talk. And like as soon as, because I know, and I told you I wasn't even sure if I was going to play this year.
Right.
And then when I finally decided that I was going to play, he said flat out, he goes, "Hey man, we've got 11 people we had to replace. Like our team is very young." Which I was kind of, I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of annoyed about the league because I feel like they when they did like their little like preview thing at the beginning of the year, like they downplayed a lot of people that we lost. Like RJ Hibbert, for instance, he's
Yeah.
an MVP of the league. Pretty much there wasn't any, but like I feel like he's probably one of the best to do it. Like he could do pretty much everything. He was a huge loss. And then on top of Griffin and Blake going to the Sharks and Amanda and Pat, like all the people that we lost, like we lost a ton of folks that we had to replace. So this team was brand new for the most part. And I pretty much told Dan, I was like, I'm coming back and I just want to help. I want to help kind of mentor a lot of the people that have never done this before along. And, whether I'm on the floor or not, like I understand how the sport works. I understand what grid speed is and like the kinds of things to look for when you're out on the floor. And so the fact that like after what was it, 3 races, I was out.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of sucked because I wasn't able to help them in any sort of a way. Also felt like I let Kawika and Cable down a little bit because then they had to do even more with me being out. And Kawika's dealing with an injury or was dealing with an injury as well and stuff like that. So just I mentally I was not in a great spot. Like, I definitely felt like I was letting the team down. But like we have a group chat and stuff, and I was trying I was dealing with my own mental stuff during this whole situation, but trying to stay active in there and being like, hey, on this, like, make sure you're doing this, on this, make sure you're doing this kind of stuff and things like that. So I'm looking forward to being back down there because you can talk all you want, but like in person is so much better in terms of trying to teach people things to keep an eye on and such like that. And, especially with the 2 races that we have coming up. The one race we did last year, for the first match of the year, and I did a lot of that race. We had 2 injuries right before the match started, so I ended up having to get thrown into a bunch of that. So like I have a ton of experience in that race, and I watched it over and over again. It just was like, hey, this is some things to keep in mind, like the 6 foot wall.
Yeah.
We've got new people doing that wall, and just giving them little tips and tricks and being like, hey, like this is what we saw worked last year. This is what didn't work, sort of a thing. And so like it was rough that was a very long way of saying like it was rough to watch the team because I felt like there was not much I could do to help them, and like watching the match and stuff like that, I thought they did great. They just got a couple of breaks that didn't go their way, and I thought that match could have been a lot closer than it actually was.
Yeah, I think what hurts is, you want to have a quick start,
Yeah,
and that partner forward, last week in Tampa was exactly what you probably,
yep,
against coaching, go out, go hot and win it. And they win it, but then there's a challenge flag, and then the outcome ends up getting, changed because of the restart. And it almost, you could see the wind just start
yep.
coming out
That
of the
was
sails.
That was exactly how I felt watching it. Like I was watching it. I was home in Chicago visiting my family and stuff like that, and I was jumping up and down watching that first partner forward. Like I was losing it. I was jacked up for him. And then yeah, then I heard that there was a challenge, and like I looked immediately on the camera to see what the team was doing, and you could see like the team just kind of they didn't lose it. Like that is the one thing I do love about this team though. It's like you can keep kicking them, but they're gonna keep fighting and keep doing what they got to do and stuff like that. But you could get the overwhelming sense that they felt like it was an uphill battle the
Yeah.
entire match, and it was like they won the mirror, which was awesome, or not mirror. They won the ladder, and they won the Jack and Jill. Ended up doing a couple of reruns or something on the Jack and Jill, and finally splitting points. But like it just like I said, that match could have been a lot should have been a lot closer than it was. They just didn't have things that went their way, and it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, you also, in the midst of, early in that match, you got Kavika going down, he's
Yeah,
injured, he doesn't return. And, you got Matt Cable, who I will say is stepped up on the strength specialist side and has been
yeah,
doing a lot of things. He's been, very good with all these injuries, but it's just a lot. It's just
it's
a
a
lot.
lot for one person.
Yeah, and then you got Sydney out there having to do more. You've got Vilma having to do more. You've got Carrie and Tyler. Tyler's kind of that glue guy that can do just about anything, and he'll
Yeah,
he'll run through a wall for you. But I mean, at some point, it becomes detrimental to trying to be successful and win. And you add all the departures and the retooling and the rebuilding, and then you add the injuries on top of it. It's just been
yeah.
it's been a tough go. And I know sitting on the sidelines or watching from home has got to be super frustrating. But what I do know is that you at 75% is probably going to be extremely helpful and a much needed break for some of
Yeah.
these other athletes.
Yeah, like, and the big thing this year, like my main goal this year was to take on a ton of capacity in things like the mirrors and the ladder. I did 2 quadrants in match one. I'll be doing 2 quadrants in match three, and I'll be doing 2 quadrants in match four. That was what I pretty much put myself in a position to, so that we had guys like Cable or Kawika that didn't need to carry that extra load because it's just moving a barbell up and down. I can do that all day, and these weights that we're moving are 50, 60% of my best. So it's just like I should be able to knock those out for a lot of reps. So that was my main focus and such like that. So it'd also be nice having David back. David McKellar wasn't with us the first 2 matches. So um, on the strength specialist side, on the guy side, we're gonna be as about full capacity as we've been all year. So that'll be exciting as well. Like I said, David and I last year against the Venom, he and I just ran that back squat,
Yeah.
and we had the fastest time in the league on the guys side. So we're kind of looking to try to do the same again this year. And then, like I said, I'm planning to do 2 quadrants in the mirror for that match too against the Paul.
Nice, nice. What about a guy like Matt Phelan? He's been a pleasant surprise, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I pretty much I told Matt after the first match that once he gets comfortable, because that's the thing. It's like he's still like I think he's a good rookie of the year candidate in my opinion. He's one of those dudes where, especially in our group chat, he like somebody will post like, "Hey, does anybody else have the ability to do a few reps here or whatever?" And like within like 30 minutes, Matt will send a video, be like, "Yeah, I got it," and he's like taught himself how to do the exercise. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty awesome. And I told him flat out after the first match, I was like, dude, I was like, once you get comfortable with like the speed and like the just like which is going to bring confidence in your own abilities, like you're going to be a force to reckon with. Like I put him right up there with any of the Blake or Nick or any of those other guys that are like at the top of the sport right now. Like I said, but he just needs to get comfortable. He still looks a little uncomfortable out there, but he's done 2 matches. You know what I'm saying? Devin is another one. Like Devin, um, I think Devin, once he gets comfortable, he's going to be another one. Because like both of those guys, they're really good at just like somebody's like, hey, does anybody else know how to do this? And they'll go into the gym and teach themselves how to do it.
Yeah.
Brings another one. And that's the thing. I think everybody just looks a little like unsure and uncomfortable right I'm hoping, by this match 3, you've got 2 matches in now. I feel like we've got 2 of the fastest teams that we've had to experience in the Lions and the Sharks. Like, that's, I mean, we got a murder's row of schedule.
Yeah.
But to start off with those 2 teams, you're going to pretty much see some of the best overall athletes in the league between those 2 teams. So, like, now, hopefully, that confidence is there that, like, we can hang and that we belong, and sort of comfortability starts to show through. We can kind of relax and just let our bodies do what they got to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're going up against on Saturday. It's going to be another very good team, and like you said,
Yeah,
the schedule wasn't favorable for you. But
no,
on the flip side is, I mean, I guess when you win a championship, like that's kind of
yeah,
what you're going to expect. Like
yeah,
you're not.
yeah. And to add to your point, like, yeah, I think the Breakers are the most well-rounded team. Like, I think the Sharks are definitely the most talented team in the world, or in the world, in the league right now. That they're definitely the most talented. They are, like, top to bottom, depth, talent, everything like that. Like, nobody can compare to them. But I think the Breakers are the best, like, all-around team. Like, they've got a great team mojo going on. All their new pieces have kind of fit in really well. They remind me a lot of the Wild from last year.
Yeah.
And that's our next match. So that'll be interesting, to say the least. I think that'll be another good litmus test and stuff like that. So to go against what I think are the 3 best teams in the league, your first 3 matches of the year, it's not that fun, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Any other teams or any other players throughout the league outside of the Wild that you're just like, man, that's surprising to me. They're much better or really good or something that I wasn't, expecting going into this season.
Honestly, I knew that she was good. Um, Like, I knew, like, so fun fact, Danny B, she's on the Venom, the gymnast.
Yeah.
Went back in the day. For those who don't know, there was the Grid Invitation. With They did a tournament for amateur teams in Anaheim. I think it was like 2017 or 2016 or something like that. I can't remember the year. But she had come out for the Chicago team that I was on. And I don't remember why they didn't put her on the team, but I remember watching her do, like, some of the gymnastic stuff. I'm like, this girl can do pretty much everything. And we kind of stayed in touch. Like, she's was in the Chicago area. I was in the Chicago area. She dropped into the gyms that I was at and stuff. And we kind of followed each other around. And then, like, week 1, I didn't even know she had signed with the band. She came, gave me a big hug, we talked and everything like that. And so I've been watching a lot of the stuff that she's been doing. And, like, I knew she was going to be good. She just needed that experience with the grid speed. But, like, she's been killing it on the gymnastics. It's been really fun to watch. It's really fun to watch people that, like, their skill set is good for this, and then
Yeah.
come in, and knock it out of the park. Um, I'm
And
drawing a blank on his first.
that's the beauty of the sport. Like you can have
Yeah,
these very specialized athletes
yeah,
come and really showcase their specialities just because grid gives them the
yeah.
avenue to do that.
And then I'm drawing Dillwood, Dilly,
Cool.
on the yeah, on the breakers. Like, he's been super impressive to watch this year. Everybody knows Josh and I are boys, so I'm not gonna gas Josh up any more than I already have. But Dilly's been really fun to watch too. Like, especially, like, during this, like, when you see things like the new elements with the sandbag,
Mhm.
like, that's something that's going to suit Dilly. But, like, he went out there and absolutely crushed that thing. Like, he had probably one of the faster
He
times
put
on it.
his
And
he put his boots on.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so I thought it was, I love the little bit of flair that he had added to it. But, like, he's been super impressive and helping. Like, I think he's brought an element to the breakers that kind of, like, he's a really good, especially when it comes to things like the burpee to ring touch type elements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like he's starting to round into a really good all around utility guy with his strength and his athleticism and stuff like that. So yeah, I would say on the women's side, Danny B, and on the men's side, Gilly, have been the 2 that I've seen. Like, and it's not to knock on anybody else. Those are the 2 that I've seen,
Yeah.
talked to, that I've watched and stuff like that have been really fun and really impressive this season so far.
So this weekend, when do you leave? When are you getting into Dallas?
I'm driving down because I live in Colorado now, so it's only a little bit of a drive for me. I'm leaving early Friday morning. We've got a team walkthrough Friday evening. And then I believe we're the first match on Saturday
Yep.
against the Breakers. And then it's just, like I said, I don't know how the schedule works, but we're the first match on Saturday. We're the last match on Sunday.
Yep. What when you talk about this injury and
Yeah.
preparing to compete, is 9 a.m. like that early morning start? Is that a tough start given like the prep work that you got to do to get ready, or it doesn't
No,
really?
I'm usually up by 6, 7 a.m. anyways. And like before like you and I, like, so, this podcast is at 9:15. But before I got in here, like I do my stretching every morning and stuff like that, my mobility things. I've got my creams and I've got my STEM unit and stuff like that. Like I've already done like a full like thing before you and I got on this podcast, and I'm gonna bring all that with me. And so, I mean, I did all that stuff anyways, but obviously, like I have to pay, extra special attention to my ankle and stuff. But no, like I'm just like it's funny because Tyler actually posted it where we had a team meeting last week, and Tyler was just like, I don't mean to be extra or bougie or whatever the word he was that he used. He's like, but I am in bed at 9:30 on Friday. And I was just like, yeah, man, I am too. Like I was like, here, because I got to get up and make sure I get all this stuff done and taken care of before we get over to the venue. And the nice thing about it is like, I don't do partner forward for these matches or whatever, so I do have that little bit of extra time and stuff. So if I need it, I'll take it and such. But yeah, no, I've got a whole routine that I've been doing every morning. So like being in that first match is not going to be that big of a deal.
I mean, if you're in that mirror and you're back squatting 315, you'll be plenty warm. You'll be ready.
Yeah, exactly, exactly,
Especially if you're
exactly.
gonna do two quads. Like I think you're
Yeah,
I think you're good. Um, when you talk about, obviously we're going to see you um against the Breakers, and you're
yeah,
going
yeah.
to. Is there tentative like plans for you to perform or compete in the next match, or is that kind of because of the way that it's back to back, you kind of got to play it by ear and see how you feel?
Right now, it's already been decided. Dan didn't give me much of a choice, and I appreciate that. I'm a wild card for the second match.
Gotcha.
So like he said flat out like it also like that second match there was just not a ton I could do. Without like there's a lot of squatting in that second match, and I know my body, I know my limits, especially with this injury. Like I've only got a lot. Like had this been any other year, I'd be fine to help with the overhead squats, the D-ball squats, all that stuff. But yeah, like Dan kind of told me flat out, like he goes, you could just do the mirror, that'd be great. He goes, if you could do the ladder, that'd be a bonus. But like I'm not losing sleep over it kind of a situation. So yeah, it's already been decided. I'm the wild card for that second match, and those are the only two things I'm doing.
Nice, nice. Well, hopefully, you get through the first match and you feel good, and it's
Yeah.
sore, I'm sure, but like nothing
Oh yeah,
outlandish
yeah. And
crazy.
I've been
And
and the last few weeks I've been training like back to back days. Like I normally kind of spread my days out a little bit because of
Mhm.
my job and stuff like that. But I've been trying to do something like back to back days a little bit more stressful just to kind of get my body into that feeling and whatnot. So everybody, and like I think that you and I talked about this a little bit last year with like Vegas. I talked to somebody about it, but like everybody's going to be sore.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to be hurting and stuff like that. So it's not like I'm dealing with something that nobody else is going to be dealing with in terms of that fatigue and that, whatever. It's just that people just got to listen to their bodies and do what they can in that moment and try not to be a detriment to their team, but more of an aid.
right. Um, you know, going into this weekend, 0-2, what is the message to the team? Do you say anything to the team prior to these matches going in, or you
Oh yeah.
just what is the message? What do you
The
say?
message, I mean, the message is like, look, like I don't sugarcoat much. Our season is over after this weekend. We're not making the playoffs. We're in a stacked division. The differential is not in our favor based on these first two matches at all. I'm pretty sure we have the highest differential in the league. So my message, pretty clear to the team, is that we got nothing to lose. Like this is it. These are the last two matches. You want to, leave, end on as positive of a note as possible. So just don't leave any doubt.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I'm going into it. Like, we're not going to lie down and just let teams roll over. These last two teams roll over us. I would love to see the continued fight that they have had in the first, two matches. And I'd like to see it cranked up just a little bit because we got nothing going on after this. Like after this, when everybody leaves Dallas, like it's the offseason. So I feel like we got nothing left to lose. Just kind of go give it everything you got for these last two matches, and we'll just see where everything falls.
I mean, being the spoiler, I mean, that's a fun spot to be in if you're gonna.
I personally thrive in that kind of thing, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't think we're gonna spoil much if I'm being 100% honest, because like even I like let's just say something happens and we end up beating the Breakers, like they're gonna. I mean, they have a tough match with the Lions, but I think they're better than the Lions, but it's going to be tough that first match. I think I joked around with Dan about the toilet bowl of us and the Palms. The Palms end up being 0-3 going into their match versus us being 0-3. Like somebody's got to win.
Right.
So like I said, I like being a spoiler. I like messing up the form chart and stuff like that. But we're just focusing on us and what we can do to end the season on this positive note and get some good momentum. I think that's the big thing is we want to have some good momentum going into the off season. Because I know how I'm feeling these last 6 weeks or 7 weeks or whatever it is from match one and how I've been stewing. I can't imagine doing that for however many months it's going to be if we end up with a similar result this season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter of going out and just everyone putting forth what you expect of them. Obviously, everyone expects 100%. Go out, give your 100%, whatever that is, and however the chips fall, they fall. And
Yeah.
you're right. There should be no pressure on anybody because
No.
you're right. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain as far as momentum to move you and drive you into the off season. So looking forward to seeing you guys, looking forward to seeing you out there, whether it's 75% or 15%, it would be nice to see you on the grid, Tom. But
I mean, I was going to come down no matter what, whether I was participating or not. I was going to make the trip no matter what to help my team, kind of just give them a little bit of a moral boost and just be an extra coach on the sidelines to help Deanna and stuff like that. Don't think I don't see or hear all the stuff that people are saying about the Wild, and I've kind of taken it on myself to be a little bit of an enforcer there. So I was going to be there no matter what.
There you go. Well, anything before you bounce and we wrap this up? Anything you want to plug or promote?
Yeah, man. My sponsors for the season: Strengthly Collective, Serious Steel, Onyx, PR Wraps, Iron Pit Gym. You guys have been awesome. I appreciate you guys continuing to stick with me, and even when the injury happened, they were reaching out, telling me, don't worry about it, keep your head up, do what you got to do, sort of a thing. My business is Strength Agenda as well. You guys go check that out for some training programs and such like that. Because once I'm done with this, like it's back to work for me, getting my athletes ready for Masters Worlds and all that nonsense. So the grind never stops, so to speak. And I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
You and Cassie and Taylor have been awesome. You guys have all been reaching out, throughout the entire time. Like I know there's so much going on in the league and stuff like that, but the fact that you took the time. Andrew Maddox is another one. He was reaching. I was hearing from him at least every other day or something like that. The fact that you guys all took the time to kind of reach out and say, "Hey, man, how are you doing?" Like as a human being, like especially with the way the world's going these days, it's really nice to see that there are still good people out there, and it really meant a lot to me. You guys were reaching out, asking how I was doing and stuff like that, and not strictly from a grid perspective, but from a human perspective. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. I treat people the way that you want to be treated. That's
Exactly.
it's simple, right? Very simple.
Yeah.
Some people have a hard time with that, but
Yeah.
Tom, man, I'm stoked. I get to see you this weekend.
I got a big hug for you, buddy. I got a big hug for you.
Let's go. I'm interested to see. People have no, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna like when they've so in Tampa, people saw me for the first time and they were like outside of like the screen and they're like, oh wow. Like so I'm interested to see like what was your perspective coming in?
I told you look dapper as hell on the sidelines.
I gotta and that's the downside of looking dapper in the first time I did it. Now I gotta do it again.
It's okay. I got a present for you though.
Oh buddy. Can't wait.
Based on what we talked about. I got a little present for you.
Let's go. Well, Tom, man, I can't wait to see you. Safe travels, and I'll reach out to you Friday night when we get in. We'll touch base. I'll definitely see you on Saturday morning.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you as always. Safe travels.
All right, appreciate it, Tom. That's Tom Sroka, everybody. If you like hearing Tom's story, or you just like hearing Average Joe's talk X's and O's, please like, share the podcast on Facebook. Head over to YouTube, like, subscribe, notifications. That way you're first to know when new content is dropped. And we're done for the week. That doesn't mean I'm done with Grid. That just means I'm done for interviews this week. What you might see, though, is I'm not committing to this, but I'm going to pack up the stuff. I'm going to go on the road. I'll be in Dallas with the Grid live stream team on the sideline doing some reporting. I'll be back on that. You'll see me July 12th on Saturday, Dallas Mesquite Convention Center. July 13th on Sunday, Dallas Mesquite Convention Center, Dallas, Texas, where the Grid League is going to culminate the regular season with back-to-back days matches. There's a lot of stakes on the line. You've got the Breakers looking to solidify a playoff spot. You've got the Brigade looking to solidify a playoff spot. You've got the top teams in each conference, the Lions and the Sharks, trying to solidify a playoff spot. But you got teams like the Wild, you got the Venom, you got the Bandits, you got the Palms, all looking to spoil some of those things. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun. Looking forward to it. And, who knows? You might see me doing some pre-match, pump ups on Friday night. Maybe you'll see me do a recap on Saturday night. We'll see. It depends on the logistics and all that. But I'm going to have the stuff. Hopefully I'll get a chance to go live and talk to everybody. But until then, y'all be on YouTube. If you can't make it out to Dallas, be on YouTube, United Grid League. Check out all the action starting at 9 a.m. Eastern, Central Standard Time on Saturday, and then 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on Sunday. All the action's going to go down. We'll see y'all there. As always, remember, strong body, sharp minds, grit and grind all the time. We're out.